Though we mourn and grieve the loss of our brother today, we celebrate the man, the myth, the legend. If you have a precious memory or a Junior story, we invite you to come up and share it. So at this time, we'd like you to sit back, relax, and get comfortable as we pay tribute to a loving, kind, generous soul, our brother, Jr Utu. At this time, I'd like to call up our girls for their song. Thank you.
Memories of our lifetime together. we were growing up, our parents had us start the day with prayer. At 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning, we had to be up and have our prayer. And then at the end of the day, we would have a prayer to close the day. And so we grew up with that. And I think that's one of the most important things that our parents gave us is a belief in God. And you know, I'm like really nervous. So we grew up like this. But there's a funny thing here though, is if you didn't wake up in time for prayer, especially on the weekend, well, it could only happen on the weekend. My father made you run a mile square. You had to, if you woke up late, instead of getting smacked, you had to run a mile square. So, and my brothers, Junior, Lem, John, thought they were so smart because they would cut across, take shortcuts and stuff like that, and our father would be right there to catch them. And
somebody told us.
yeah, I did, because I couldn't cut, so I didn't have long legs. And that was funny. Junior and I used to walk to school together when we were younger. He had to drop me off at Allen on his way to Korea. And the thing was is that I hated to walk to school with Junior because he walked so fast. And I'm like, you're walking too fast. Like, no, you keep up. And you know, to this day now, I walk really fast because of Junior. He would never slow down for me. He's like, you're walking too slow. I'm like, no, you're walking too fast. Well, he was tall. That's why he walked so fast. Also, you know, Junior loved to sing when we walked to school. Junior can't sing. He can't harmonize. It's just like, dude, give it up. People are looking at us. You know, you live in this neighborhood and you're singing, oh, the John Denver song. I don't know. Junior just couldn't sing to the top of his voice. And I'm like, oh my God, then I would start to walk really fast so we could get out of the neighborhood. Family was very important to Junior. He loved us very much. He always put us first, and he was very kind, very loving. There isn't anything he wouldn't have done for us. He was a good big brother. And family was very important to him. We have lots of nephews and nieces, and all of our nephews and nieces are, you know, they love Uncle Junior, except for one. And this is our great niece, Gianna. Gianna is Judy's daughter, and whenever she would see Junior coming, she would just start to scream bloody murder. And Junior would try to like comfort her. It's like, oh, it's okay, but she just would see him walking down the hall, and she'd throw her head back, and she was terrified of him. Until one day, we were all at Johnny's house, and Junior was sitting on the couch, and Gianna was watching him, and he was talking, and he was laughing and stuff, and Gianna was like standing 10 feet away from him, and she was just watching him and stuff like that. And she starts inching a little bit closer, a little bit, just Junior, she's like totally, you know, terrified. So she finally gets a little bit closer, and he's sitting on the couch, and she plops right down to him, puts her arm on his knee, you know, as an armrest, and Junior's like, see, I'm not so bad. She just giggled, and from then on, she wasn't afraid of Junior, but it was just, oh, the poor child would just scream her lungs out when she saw Junior coming down. And that's the only one out of all our nephews and nieces. Nobody else was afraid, but just our Gianna. She's all right with that now. Our mother, Junior, our mother had a stroke a few years back, and you know, I noticed that after the stroke, Junior, whenever he would come to see Mom, it was always Mom, but now it was always, hi Mommy, Mommy, I love you. He'd sit with her, and he'd hold her hand, or he'd kiss her hand, but any kind of car, it just was like, you see this big hulk of a guy, there with our tiny little mom, and he's holding her hand. He's like, "Mommy, I did this. Mommy, you know," and everything. I just thought it was adorable. And Anne was just recently telling us when she went through Junior's laptop that she found a lot of his passwords had to do with her mother. "I love you, Mom," or her name, and you know, Junior really, really loved our mother, as we all do. Yes, he loved our mother very much. What I wanted to talk about is, I know that Junior, it's a shock to everybody that, 48 years old and he's passed on, and it's like, some people may think it was before his time, but, I learned a lot from my sister Anne in regards to the Bible and stuff like that, and, she tells me, your days are numbered. You never know, it's what you do with your life on this earth, because we're only here temporarily. It's all very temporary, and our bodies are not meant to last. And so when Junior did pass away, Annie called me and told me, and I was in shock. But as time has gone on, I've drawn comfort knowing that Junior loved the Lord. Comfort, because I just don't feel like Junior's gone. I know I won't see him anymore. I won't see him anymore. I don't get my big hug or my kiss, from him, and and I'll miss all that. But if I thought that that was it, if my brothers and sisters were to pass on and that would be it, there's nowhere to go with that, And I'm not like the preachy type or anything, but I mean, even outside of the Bible, there is, history, there's proof that Jesus did walk this earth, and that, it's just something that has given me great comfort, knowing that my family, I'll never really say goodbye to them. We'll pass and we won't see each other, but eventually we'll see each other again. So, Junior used to talk with our cousin Jeff and say that, when it comes my time, I just want to go peacefully in my sleep. And, well, that's the way he went. And, throughout this time that we've had to deal with Junior not being with us anymore, I've learned to, appreciate my family a lot more. Appreciate that when Junior went, he wasn't alone. Johnny and Len were with him, and that comforts me a lot, knowing that, Junior he wasn't alone. And also that, he wasn't alone. Also, what's been a comfort to me too is seeing all the support, all the tributes that you guys have written about Junior. It's been like a tremendous comfort to me, because I always thought, well, Junior played sports, yeah, he knew a lot of people, and blah, blah, blah. But when I started reading some of the things you guys were saying on the web, I'm like, oh my God, you guys really did know. You knew his gentle soul. You knew his kind heart. You knew how loving he was. And that, because I thought people only knew Junior because of sports. Obviously, I was wrong. So, I will miss Junior. I will miss him very much, but I don't mourn him because I know he's not gone. I miss him, but I'm not going to mourn him because I have hope that I will see him again. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's given us so much support and all the wonderful things you have said with us. And I'm going to get off the stage here now because I feel I'm starting to break, but I wanted to leave you all with this thought, is that the night before Junior went home to the Lord, he fell asleep on earth and then he woke up in heaven. And that means a lot to me. I think about Junior, I'm like, gosh, what must your life be like now that you're with the Lord? And you're with Dad and you're with Uncle Fuki and all that stuff. And so, just like Annie said, this is a time for us to celebrate his life, and we'll celebrate his life. And Junior loves all of you guys very, very much. And thank you all for coming. I'm sorry, I wanted to say one thing to Tony and Eric. Tony and Eric, thank you for all that you guys have done. Junior, like he was to us, he was to you. So thank you so much for everything.
Hi, I'm Jane. I'm the youngest sister. And I wasn't going to talk, but I kind of want to lighten it up a little because Junior was funny. So it's no secret that we have a huge family. So there's 10 of us. And it was easy for Junior to remember all of our names. He saw us every day. So Annie and Pam started having kids. And then it started getting tricky. Pam had 5, Annie had 7. So there was 12 nephews and nieces. Okay, start remembering their names. Leai, Sammy, so he starts remembering them. Well, then they started having kids. So then he said, I can't do this. And I went, yes, you can. So at our gatherings, there'd be a kid running by, and he's like, who's that? Oh, that's little Leai. That belongs to big Leai. Oh, okay. Well, who's that? That's Marley. That belongs to Sabrina. Some other little kid runs by, and he grabs him, and he goes, who do you belong to? And the kid points, and he's like, all right, run along. I'll figure it out. Lamb always said that should do the scanner thing, so he could scan as the kids ran by. There's so many to remember. And then the other little story I want to tell is every year on my birthday, I get a physical. That's my birthday present to myself. So on my 42nd birthday, they won't give me a flu shot. I'm like, what's the problem? Give me my flu shot. I get it every year. How poetic. The doctor says, I can't give you a flu shot, you're pregnant. And I said, shut up. She goes, no, you're pregnant. And I went, oh my gosh. So of course I wanted to tell my husband, I wanted to tell my kids, my older kids, and my sisters. I wanted to tell my sisters. I'm like, okay, I'm so excited. I want to tell them, oh my gosh, I'm going to have another one. But mind you, my youngest at that time was a junior in high school. So when I found out I was pregnant with this one, I was very surprised. So I meant to tell everybody, but there was a family meeting that I couldn't come to, and my husband blew it and told everybody that I was pregnant. So Junior, I see him a couple days later, and he goes, oh wow, so you're one of those. And I'm like, one of what? And he goes, you're going to be one of those women. And I go, what kind of woman? What are you talking about? And he goes, one of those parents. And I went, oh, patient, loving, older, wiser, financially stable. And he goes, no, you're going to pick your kid up in kindergarten. And they're like, oh, are you here for your grandson? Love you, Junior.
Hi. My name's John. Most of y'all know him. I was ready. But like my sister was telling a story, I'll tell you one. Junior didn't do a lot of things with me, but a couple of things that he did do with me was play golf. And for those of you that live in Fountain Valley, y'all know the David Baker Golf Course in Miles Square. So me and my brother are playing, and he gets on the tee, and he hits this shot, and it goes way left. Typical of the way he hit the ball. But I was like, it's all good. And Junior, he never complained about any shot that he hit. Every shot he hit, he was just like, oh well, that's another beer. He fluffed his shot the next time. That's a shot right there. So one time we're playing this one hole and he hits it way left. And he's out in the left and the rest of us are going to where our goals are, where it's supposed to be. And he goes out there and we're like looking for him, like, okay, where you at, bro? You know? And we see him behind one of the sand traps and I hear him whacking away, but I don't count it because it's Jr. So he hits his ball. And not for nothing, but the sucker hit the green, 5 feet, rolled in, hit the flag. I said, that was awesome, Jr. Too bad we're not playing that hole. And I was like, you know, that's Jr. You know, he just looks at it like, okay, but you're gonna still give me that score on that one, right? I said, okay, if you want it. But that's how he was. He was just someone, he enjoyed life with every one of you that is in here. Every one of you in here has spent time with our brother. Every one of you has experienced the way he was and what he is. And y'all walked away with something because y'all wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. However little it was, however big it was enough to have y'all take time out of your day and come here and celebrate his life with us and our family. That goes beyond the words and the feelings that I have in my heart for every one of you. So thank you so very much for coming here today, people. As far as that goes, there's a lot of things that Jr. loved in life. He loved his family. He loved all of his nephews and nieces. The one thing that I can never thank him enough for is all the time that he took care of my son whenever I had to work or do something and I couldn't be around him. Jr. was there all the time. He's made an impact on my son more so than anybody in our family. And he pisses me the hell off, man. Because that's how Jr. and me were. We can never agree on something. But we agreed on one thing, knowing that our family was that important. That no matter what it was or what it needed to be done for anybody and everybody, he was there, we were there, we will always be there. That's as much as I can sum it up for him, or sum up what I got to say about him. Because I will stay here forever and talk about my brother. Because he was that much to me, and I'm sure he was that much to you. So again, from us to you guys, thank you so much for being there and doing all this. Have a great rest of the day, people.
How's everyone doing?
Good. We're good.
All right. Thank you, Uncle. My name is Leai. I'm the youngest nephew. No, I'm just kidding. I'm the oldest. Sorry, that joke was dry. You guys don't even know who I am. Sorry about that. I apologize. That won't happen again. Anyways, I'm Uncle Junior's oldest nephew. I have a family of my own, and I wrote down a lot of what I wanted to say because I didn't want to forget anything. So before I begin to give my testimony, I want to thank our family for allowing me to have this opportunity to share with everyone my memories of Uncle Junior. Friends from near and far, I also want to thank you all for attending Uncle Junior's celebration of life. Your love and your support is awesome, and it's greatly appreciated. I have a life full of memories of and with my uncle, but 3 stand out the most to me because they have impacted my perspective on life. During my childhood, my brother and I were weekend warriors of Grandma Joe's house. And ever since I can remember, Uncle Junior has always been there at Grandma Joe's. Those were the best weekends of our lives. And what made it even greater was Uncle was there. It truly was like home away from home. And every weekend we were over, he'd have a plan for us to have fun. He took us swimming, he took us to the fair, he took us to the arcade, and occasionally we'd find ourselves at Jasper's playing pool. He had a pretty good relationship with all of Jasper's staff and customers, so they allowed me and my brother Spunks to go inside. We felt cool because Spunks was 8 and I was 11 and we were in an adult-only place. But that was one of the perks of being Uncle's nephews. Exclusive access everywhere. At least that's how I felt. When I was a kid, I loved to watch the latest hit movies in theaters. And fortunately for me and Spunks, that was Uncle's thing too. So he often took us to watch the best movies of the month, even the ones that were rated R. As much fun as we would have with him, I noticed how he worked a lot. We would only see him later on in the evening during our time there, but when he had a day off, he made sure we had fun. I asked him one day, "Uncle, how come you work so much?" And he said, "Dad, it's because your parents keep on having kids, so I need more money to make sure everyone has a gift for Christmas." Yeah, it's true. I do remember, before we started making our own families, he always asked us what we wanted for Christmas. From his type of character, I learned that life isn't about what you can get from it, but more about what you can put into it, or make out of it. That's what it's all about: family, friends, and love. To me, he was also a very brilliant man. When he spoke to us, he used layman's terms, but I overheard a conversation he was having over the phone one day, and I thought to myself, why did he sound like a scientist? No way, not him. But he was actually that intelligent. He often asked me what I wanted to do with my life, and I always told him, I'm undecided. He tried to educate me with his own experiences about the do's and don'ts in life. It turns out he knew exactly what he was talking about. All the do's and don'ts in life, let's skip that. All the do's and don'ts in life were something that he wanted me to remember growing up and also remember as a man that I am now. This is why I believe he's brilliant. He's very persistent and very determined. I never met a man who could hit a brick wall after brick wall and still be able to stay focused on succeeding rather than surrendering to adversities. That showed me how to give my all in all of my endeavors, which is closely related to what I've learned from the Bible. Through the fire, my life is refined. I understand now that that's what he wanted me to know in life. My second fondest memory of Uncle was my wedding day at the after party. Family and friends already arrived there, and when me and my wife pulled up, as soon as I walked through the door, the first person to greet me was Uncle Jr, double fisting cups. He handed me a cup and he proposed a one-on-one toast with these words: "Congratulations, you're a married man now. All that kiddie bull bleep is over. It's time to man up. How do you feel?" I looked at him and I said, "I feel great." What, am I supposed to feel something else? He glanced over at the bar, then back at me with a concerned look on his face. And he quietly said, "Dad, I have a $100 tab just for you. You're going to need it." He was very wise indeed, because he was right. Just kidding, babe. That's another don't. So we were just engaging in man talk, joking around, but then all of a sudden he got serious. He told me, "You know, you are officially too old for Christmas presents, right? It's not like you play with, toys anyways, right?" I took a swig of my cup, and inside my heart, I cried out, "But that PlayStation 2 though?" The last memory I'm going to share with you is a pretty old one. I was 3, but I remember it as clear as day. We used to live with Grandma and Joe in a 2-story house in Costa Mesa. My parents and I had the bedroom upstairs. One day I was sitting in our room while my mom was asleep, and I heard loud banging sounds coming from downstairs. So what happened was I grabbed my gun and my badge and I went down to investigate. As soon as I got to the kitchen, I seen a behemoth of a man who had another much smaller man in a full Nelson. So you can imagine how traumatizing that would be for a 3-year-old. But instead, it was quite comical. My Uncle Jr. had my Uncle Curtis in a full Nelson. And all I remember was I was laughing because Uncle Curtis' feet were dangling right at his knees. But as soon as they saw me, they immediately stopped and they sat beside me. One on my left and one on my right. They both tried to explain to me that they were just playing around. but they both told each other that when I leave, they're gonna play some more. I feel like Uncle Junior just didn't want me to know that there was a problem. And when my mom came home with the bad news of Uncle's passing, she shared with our family about the talk she had with him this past Christmas. It was about how distraught he was over how life just wasn't going the way he wanted. And it seemed as though that he kept a lot of emotional feelings hidden behind his, I know how to get past this personality. With what I just recently learned about Uncle Junior, I know now that even the best of us could use a shoulder to cry on every once in a while. And his life has taught me humility. Uncle, I wish we could have that chance to work together. I honestly felt like the last time we talked, we were really setting up future business engagements. Now that you're at rest, I will continue in the pursuit of happiness with the memories of your life in my heart. I'm so glad that I had the chance to share with you my life's plan before you were suddenly gone. I just want to thank you, Uncle, for everything. I love you. I miss you. You are definitely one of the most important people in my life. Thank you.
Maro.